At first, Luther could see only a vague shape that might have been a bird, but soon its outline resolved and a buzz of excitement spread through the crowd as people told one another that the boy was right. Everyone called it the Clipper, but technically it was a Boeing B-314. Pan American had commissioned Boeing to build a plane capable of carrying passengers across the Atlantic Ocean in total luxury, and this was the result. Enormous, majestic, unbelievably powerful, an airborne palace. The airline had taken delivery of 6 and ordered another 6. In comfort and elegance, they were equal to the fabulous ocean liners which docked at Southampton. But the ships took 4 or 5 days to cross the Atlantic, whereas the Clipper could make the trip in 25 to 30 hours. It looked like a winged whale, Luther thought, as the plane came closer. It had a big, blunt, whale-like snout, a massive body, and a tapering rear, which culminated in twin, high-mounted tail fins. The huge engines were built into the wings. Below the wings was a pair of stubby sea wings, which served to stabilize the aircraft when it was in the water. The bottom of the plane had a sharp knife edge, like the hull of a fast ship. Soon, Luther could make out the big rectangular windows in 2 irregular rows marking upper and lower decks. He had come to England on the Clipper exactly a week earlier, so he was familiar with its layout. The upper deck comprised the flight cabin and baggage holds, and the lower was the passenger deck. Instead of seat rows, the passenger deck had a series of lounges with Davenport couches. At mealtimes, the main lounge became the dining room, and at night the couches were converted into beds. Everything was done to insulate the passengers from the world and the weather outside the windows. There were thick carpets, soft lighting, velvet fabrics, soothing colors, and deep upholstery. The heavy soundproofing reduced the roar of the mighty engines to a distant, reassuring hum. The captain was calmly authoritative, the crew clean-cut and smart in their Pan-American uniforms, the stewards ever attentive. Every need was catered for. There was constant food and drink. Whatever you wanted appeared as if by magic, just when you wanted it. Curtained bunks at bedtime, fresh strawberries at breakfast. The world outside started to appear unreal, like a film projected onto the windows, and the interior of the aircraft seemed like the whole universe. Such comfort did not come cheap. The round-trip fare was $675, half the price of a small house. The passengers were royalty, movie stars, chairmen of large corporations, and presidents of small countries. Tom Luther was none of those things. He was rich, but he had worked hard for his money, and he would not normally have squandered it on luxury. However, he had needed to familiarize himself with the plane. He had been asked to do a dangerous job for a powerful man. Very powerful indeed. He would not be paid for his work, but to be owed a favor by such a man was better than money. The whole thing might yet be called off. Luther was waiting for a message giving him the final go-ahead. Half the time he was eager to get on with it. The other half, he hoped he would not have to do it. The plane came down at an angle, its tail lower than its nose. It was quite close now, and Luther was struck again by its tremendous size. He knew that it was 109 feet long and 152 feet from one wingtip to the other, but the measurements were just numbers until you actually saw the goddamn thing floating through the air.